Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Golden Opportunities Coaching YouTube channel. Welcome to those of you who are new. Welcome back to those of you seasoned veterans. What we do around here, is bring about conversations of a psychological, mental health, emotional health paradigm. We do that as often as we can, usually several times per week. We make that allowance for you, and we've got over 1,500 of these, so tons of stuff to check out if you're interested. But we try to add as often as we can. My schedule is a little crazy, so from time to time we don't get here as often as I would like. But if you're looking for coaching, would love to be of benefit to you in that way, please feel free to reach out at PO Perception on Twitter and or in the About Me section of this YouTube page. Either one will get you in touch with me or a member of my team, and then we can go from there. So what are some things that make you fake smart? Or make people fake smart. Number one, they use really big words to try and sound important, or they string together a concept or a string of large concepts altogether without really saying anything. So people that are overly wordy but never really accomplish anything or offer solutions, they are individuals that are trying to fake a certain level of intelligence. These individuals will also be prone to brag about what they've already accomplished, what they could accomplish if someone gave them a chance, what they need to accomplish, or to talk about what they would accomplish if only one or two things would fall into place. So these individuals are talking more about what they could do, can do, will do, than actually doing anything. And ultimately, that comes down to being quite frustrating for a number of reasons, mainly because if you offer to help them, they'll come up with reasons why they can't move forward. I know in my own life that dealing with the chronic medical conditions and literally in a country that has abysmal healthcare, um, you know, digging out of a hole of literally tens of thousands of dollars worth of medical bills over the last few years has not been fun. But in my own life, I have to kind of look at working towards it. I won't brag until I complete things, but then I'll move on to something else very quickly. Because the reality is, everybody has reasons and excuses why they don't accomplish what it is that they want to accomplish. They'll quote famous people or important people or influential people to try and sound like they're tapped in, tuned in, turned on to making progress. But the reality is, they are ultimately just trying to sound a certain way without actually using the information given by these individuals to actually make any real long term impact on their own lives. Quotes are wonderful, inspiration is wonderful, but inspiration without application is basically the same as wasting time, energy, effort, and focus. And so it's important to make sure that if you're dealing with somebody who's constantly inspired but never making progress, that you kind of look at the fruit of their labor and see whether or not what they're doing actually is going to pay off. The next thing to look at is questions. Questions as it relates to kind of moving forward, questions as it relates to what a person's intention is in trying to keep you in the loop for their relationship or whatever is there. A lot of times people will use questions to try to divert attention away from the fact that they're not really making all that much progress, but instead they're focused on, trying to sound like they're trying to move themselves forward. These individuals are also very, very tied to the concept or the construct of ego. At the end of the day, ego is all about what it is that ultimately they want, and they want immediate attention. They want focus on what they're trying to accomplish. They want to feel special, important, valuable, or somehow different than everyone else around them, because the idea that they have some special value or reason that is outside of what anyone else can do is often a smokescreen, because they don't really have the follow through to get things done. Now, it doesn't mean that a person can't change. Any person can change. Few people do. And the reason that few people do isn't because no one can, it's because ultimately change takes a level of consistency that people often have given up on themselves about a long time ago, and then they tell themselves an internal story which hinders them from making progress. Now, the good news is any person can make progress towards long term, short term, and medium term goals, but the discipline to do so is something that they often need direction on how to continue to do, especially when they feel overwhelmed with regret over not having already done it, or any other number of stimuli that ultimately cause angst or anger or frustration at themselves. So, it's important to work with a coach, counselor, or team of people to help you find the ideal place that you want to be versus the place you think you should be, because at the end of the day, that is ultimately a struggle for them in an open and meaningful way. So hopefully this is helpful. I encourage you keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment. Until next time, everybody.